Hey everyone, I'm Nate,
Michael,
and we're the Olympic Ultras. We have a lot to talk about today, so without further ado, we'll get straight into it.
let's do it.
So, as always, women's kickoff first, and we're going to go all the way back to Saturday night, where we played our first game in the FQPL1, round two, against Moreton City Excelsior. Comprehensive
Yes,
4-1 win.
yes, and what a win it was.
An incredible
Absolutely
win.
brilliant.
Um,
Absolutely brilliant. I've never seen a bunch of players that were so focused on what they had to do.
yeah, exactly. Very nervy beginning.
Extremely.
Uh, Extremely nervy beginning. I think we went 1-0 down. I think it was like the third or the fourth minute.
Yeah, it was very, very early in the game, and it kind of put us on the back foot real early. It kind of stunned us, really.
Yeah, and I think
It's
we talked about it at the match. We think that was kind of Moreton City remembering what happened last time we played them, because that was only a few weeks ago,
correct.
before the cyclone, and trying to get on us and try to stop us from passing out from the back
Yeah.
and try to
Well,
really
it worked very
hammer
well.
that. Yeah, and
Yeah.
they did, especially because that's how their first goal came about. They put us high press, high pressure. We slipped up 1-0.
Yeah. And I believe going back and comparing the two games, I think their midfielder or their midfield
Mm.
was a much more tighter unit than it
Mm.
was the previous one,
Yeah, they were
and
really
hence,
trying to hold up our passing out from the back play and things
yeah,
like that,
yeah.
which fair play to them. And to be honest, for
Oh,
a little while there, it really worked.
yeah, and I was really worried.
Yeah. And if it wasn't for Captain Kiz, who after I think maybe 4 minutes after that free header in the box
Legend.
put us onto 1-1, and it was 1-1 until half time. So again, that really goes to show just how much Morton City sort of maybe studied us from the previous match and really did their homework and, really hampered us playing through.
Yeah, yeah, in every sense of the way.
Yeah.
We just kind of whether we had a different set of pressure on us because it was the season proper as opposed to a cup game,
Mhm.
because these points really mean more.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
can win a dozen cup games, that's great, but you win the championship, that's greater.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
there was a lot more pressure placed on, probably not purposely, but I think back in the mind,
Mm.
had to
Because
start
I
well.
know a lot of people in Queensland, or I guess even the southeast corner, because that's where the Kappa Pro Series is mainly played. I
Mm.
know a lot of people are still too sold on it. Even you and I, where
Yeah, yeah,
it's a glorified preseason comp.
correct.
And we have a preseason comp called the Hellenic Cup, and I'm more excited about that every
Yeah, me
year
too.
than I am about something that actually wins us a trophy at the end of it, according to Football Queensland and things like that. But it's
Yeah,
kind of like the League Cup in England. It's like if you're in the
yeah,
final, suddenly you care.
yeah. No one really gives a rat's until the quarterfinal, semi-final stage.
Yeah, exactly right. And so you're right. Like this being the league proper, we want to get promoted back again at the
Yeah,
first time of asking. We needed to
yeah,
start off with a good push.
yep,
So there might have been a
100%.
little bit of nerves, might have been a little bit of rustiness, as we talked about last episode.
Mm.
With the cyclone, there was a big reset button on form.
Yep, yep.
Um, so might have been a little bit of that. But the second half
Oh,
was business as usual, as we've seen the Olympic women's play.
it's the old cliche, it's a game of two halves,
Yeah,
and was there was
yeah,
you kind of expect a lot of teams to sort of continue the same form in the second half as they concluded the first half,
yeah.
but oh my goodness, what a different showing!
I don't know if it was a little bit of Cam Folks doing a little bit of a tinker man and just going, they're a little bit here and going that, or if it was more of a Modern City just sort of ran themselves ragged trying to put us on a high press.
Yeah, yeah. Let's face it, our passing game is absolutely extraordinary.
It's
And
incredible.
our close passing game is extraordinary. So if you
Yeah.
get those players running back and forth, back and forth, back and forth around triangles and close passing, they're going to tire really quickly.
Oh, exactly.
And we've
Definitely.
done that to perfection.
Yeah. And that second half, we absolutely peppered. the Moreton City goalkeeper. She put off some
Oh,
great saves
got to give it to her. She was brilliant.
with absolutely no hint of mocking or anything like that. Like the ones that she conceded were very unfortunate, especially the one that went through her legs and the one that went over top of her. But if you look
Goalkeeper
past that, if you
nightmare.
look at the actual shots that she saved, she put off some fantastic saves.
Yeah, yeah, she certainly did. Yeah, credit to her. Hats off to her.
Yeah, and I don't know how much the defense was helping in there. She was getting a little bit frustrated by the end of it, and I can totally understand why.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
for sure.
yeah, but Kiz had another header, another free header in the box, scored. She probably could have had, I think, 3 or 4 goals on Saturday night. Just she kept finding herself in an open position in the box.
Yeah, she done really, really well, didn't she?
Yeah, she really did. And, one of our great stalwarts, our captain for obvious reasons, really tightening our midfield to begin with and then slotting into defense as well. Oh, sorry, the other way around. Uh, um, they're doing really, really well in both sections, and being able to change on a dime is,
Correct.
just goes to show exactly how good she is.
Yeah. And she's such a great leader. And she's obviously well liked by the girls, which is a massive plus in any team setup.
Hmm.
Someone who's respected, who you'll die for,
Mm.
not literally, but
Run through a
I
brick
don't
wall
watch
for
the
sort of
game.
thing. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. She just inspires.
yeah.
And the play she's got. Let's face it, she's got some great players below her.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
We we touched last week about the squad depth, and we saw a little
Yeah,
bit. But this time, some of the players that were left on the bench was like, oh, how do you leave them? I
I
suppose.
know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like Sarah Daly was left on the bench. She came on in the
yeah,
second half. We started Eve Swain. It's like how I'm not sure she's. Oh no, I think she has put a goal away, but that doesn't really matter. Her effort in the final third, Sarah's effort in the final third is incredible. She's always pressing the defense. She's that first line of our
yep,
defense, and she always makes it a little bit more of a nightmare for them. So to leave
100%.
her on the bench, well, this
I
squad
know, right?
not so much.
Cam. We'll put it in your ear, son.
Yeah, like can you come and explain this one to us?
Well, he
Um,
obviously knows
yeah,
what he's doing, and he's a great coach. So you know
fantastic coach.
what he pulled up on Saturday night was just
And no
great.
panic, no panic. We went down very early.
Oh,
No panic from the
yeah.
girls, no panic from the coaching staff.
No,
It was,
no.
come on, what are we doing? Let's go.
Yep, yep. Okay, we're down one. Let's fix it.
Yeah. So yeah, that was absolutely perfect to see from them. As we mentioned, it was Tessa Buzzo's shot, that went through the keeper's legs, and it was George's shot that went over the top of the keeper.
Yeah,
Again, those two just running the wings and just absolutely ran everyone ragged. I
yeah.
was tired watching.
Talk about Duracell bunny, those two. They just got no no slackness. Their energy output is incredible.
Yeah,
Absolutely incredible.
and we could talk probably all night and mention every single player in that game, like we could every single other women's game that we've watched. They've just been absolutely
Mm,
incredible from the defensive line, our midfield with Rio coming back into it properly, and Eva and Lainey Sunderland and things like that. Like every single part of our women's team is just working so well at the moment.
yeah, yeah. They sure do. And it's just that combination. And they really know how to read each other's games. They know where to be when the pass comes through. They know where to lay off when the pass needs to go through.
Mm.
It's just beautiful to watch.
Yeah, and again, like with the Cyclone hitting that big reset button, there might have been a little bit of nerves, there might have been a little bit of rustiness, but that lasted 5 minutes.
Yeah.
You know,
All of 10 seconds.
yeah. So it was incredible. That was very much back onto their game straight away. Again, like we've watched them, 5 days ago. It was incredible.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
that is what it was.
yeah, and moving on, we have Southwest Queensland Thunder next week.
Yes, that's another game at home.
That's another game at home. And I actually feel kind of sorry for them in this one, not because they have to face us, but because they've been hitting the road so early. Like if you look through, they've had to travel to North Brisbane. They won that 3-2. in the last round of the FQPL 1. But they will have to travel to Goodwin Park this weekend, and then they'll have to travel to Goodwin Park again for the Queensland Cup game midweek.
Oh yeah, you got a feel from, don't you?
That's a lot of travel for,
I mean,
an
it's only an hour
FQPL
and a half.
team, a semi-pro
Yeah,
team.
it's only an hour and a half, but
But
it's down in mid-afternoon, back late at night.
yeah,
Uh,
Wednesday is school to work. Like you have to get those times off early so that you can get
yep,
all the way to Brisbane. And then
yep,
you have to get there early enough so that you can warm up, have the coach
yep. Get
chat,
up, warm up.
everything
Yep.
like that. Make sure there's no niggling injuries. Like it is a really, really tough draw in Southwest Queensland Thunder.
Yeah,
And,
it is.
I'm assuming, it's tough for us because we're playing a team in the Kappa Pro Series straight away. Not the Kappa Pro Series, sorry. The Kappa Queensland Cup. Uh,
Mm,
from our league straight away. We don't have a team that's in one of the lower divisions. We got drawn against
yeah,
an equal measure team straight away. But
correct.
I have a feeling the league game on Saturday is going to be the harder of the game just because of the travel and the extra demands that will be on Southwest Queensland Thunder for the Wednesday game.
Yeah, of course. And there's more pressure. We said it's about a league positioning, league points.
Hmm.
Yeah, you can knock down the cup. Yeah, is it such a big deal? It certainly restricts any more travel in the future.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
So, such a big problem.
Hmm.
I mean, being a Brisbane-based club, we're quite lucky because most of the games are Brisbane area.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
So, yeah, look, SWQ will put in a big shift on this coming weekend.
Oh, I'm sure they will.
Mm.
Again, they're not in there to make up the numbers. They're purely based on merit.
Yep.
Um, and yeah, they did come to North Brisbane last weekend, and they did end up winning that 3-2. So obviously they would know how to travel.
Yeah.
Being the only team that far west, they have to travel for
Correct.
almost every match.
Absolutely. Yeah. So
Um,
as you said, 3-2. So they've got some defensive flaws, but they've also got goals in them.
yeah, exactly right.
So
Um,
it's something to watch.
yeah, and we have actually played them before back in the NPL in 2021. That was the year that Southwest Queensland Thunder got relegated, unfortunately. And 2021, if you remember, was a little bit marred by COVID and things like that. So they had to do some creative ways to finish out the league. It looks really, really funny now looking back because they did everyone plays, I think it was once or twice, and then they split into a top eight and a bottom eight, and the bottom eight played each other in the top. It looks really funny looking back on it now.
Yeah.
But we did the double over them in the league, winning 6-0 and 3-0. But of course, that was a really long time ago. So
It
you
was a
can't
really
really
long time
take
ago.
much stock in those results.
No. But in saying that too, it's also a mental thing.
Yeah,
SWQ got to come into this game thinking, holy crap. I mean, we conceded 9 goals against them the last 2 outings.
yeah.
Shite.
And, not to mention,
I don't
we
know if
are tipped to be one of the better teams in this competition because XNPL, we want to go back up at the first time of asking. The squad that we've
yes.
amassed is absolutely incredible. So we
Yeah,
are tipped to be one of those teams to maybe not even finish first or second, but also, be in the grand final and be promoted at the first time of asking again. So,
absolutely.
there is that mentality there as well from or possibly from Southwest Queensland of,
Hmm.
oh God, this is going to be a real game for us. This is going to be
This
really,
will be
really
a
difficult
test.
for us.
Yeah, yeah. And it will be a test for them because if they come up in a good game sense, even losing 1 or 2 nil,
Hmm.
that's a big plus for their performance.
Yeah, exactly right.
Considering how powerful and how good a squad we actually are.
Yeah. Yeah, and how we've been
It's a
blowing
good way
teams
to
away.
judge it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Excuse me.
So it'll be really, really interesting. I'm really,
Hmm.
really looking forward to it. So the league game is Saturday, 29 March at 7 p.m. at Goodwin Park. And the cup game is Wednesday, the 2nd of April at 7:30, both of them at Goodwin Park. You and I, unfortunately, won't be able to make it to the cup game, the Wednesday game, but we will be sending a small contingent of Olympic ultras as well.
Yep. So we'll be there in spirit.
So we will be
But
there in
nothing.
spirit, but we definitely have people who will be attending on our behalf. So the flags will be flying as per usual. Um, the ultras will be there. We've started amassing a few more people, which is absolutely fantastic. So yeah, we will have supporters there no matter what.
Yeah. No. Be good. Be good.
We'll be good. All right. On to the men's second half.
Yep.
Olympic 3, Gold Coast United 0.
Woohoo!
I'm not gonna lie, I've been dying to talk about this match since we left the game
Oh,
on Sunday.
mate, what a game. What a game.
It was so incredibly tense the entire match, even when we went 3-0 up. You think 3-0, I think it was like 10 minutes to go. 3-0, 10 minutes to go. Easy streak. It was still so tense.
Yep. Yep. And they really took it to us as well. They did not sit back and relax.
No.
No.
Even
And that's what made it tense.
Yeah, and even injury time, they were still pushing. Gold Coast was still
Yeah.
pushing. They were still putting
Yeah.
the ball up, and they were still trying to get shots on target and things like that. Again, you're 3-0 down. It's injury
Yeah.
time, 90 plus minutes. Like, it's done. They were still
Yeah.
going. They were still knocking on our door, and it made for a really exciting, really tense atmosphere. And you're cheering every tackle that came across.
Oh, God, yes. And I mean, obviously, that's good character from them. And it shows professionalism from them as well.
Yeah.
Obviously, they've been well drilled. Yeah. But did our boys put in some great tackles?
Oh, massive,
Oh,
massive shift from a lot of them.
it
Um,
was just a phenomenal game.
And we talked last pod about the fact that it's 5 draws from the last 6 matches.
Yep.
Um, the last win we had against them was in like 2022 in April, like a
Correct.
really long time ago. So it has been a bit of a stalemate between these two teams for a
Yeah.
really long time.
It's nice to finally get one over them.
Oh, tell me about
Oh,
it.
my God. It's like that big monkey off your back now. Thank goodness for that.
Yeah, and we can use this as momentum. We can use this to get going because again, they also finished mid-table last season, roughly the same record as us. So this was a team that really kind of showed us where we are now because they've
Yeah.
been beating everyone in the Kappa Pro Series, as well as the NPL. They've put in some really,
100%.
really good shifts, and they're a really good team.
Yeah. Yeah. But on the night, I mean, some of our playmaking. Yeah. Louis Greenwood. Oh, down that
Louis
right
Green was
side. Just
incredible.
amazing.
Even
You know,
Jackson Simkin on the other side had his own
yeah.
absolute
Just,
touches of class and things like that.
yeah.
And we, not to put too fine a point on it or offend any of the lads or anything like that, but we looked at the lineup and saw no Lek and saw no Lugo
Yeah.
and got really worried. But I
Yeah.
tell you what,
Yeah.
Benny Wood, if you are tuning in, we owe you an apology.
Yeah. Mate, you are a freaking legend.
The
Absolutely. The shift you put in was second to none.
incredible
Absolutely second to none.
performance.
It's
Um,
just, but you're right. When I saw the players on the bench, I've gone, oh,
mm,
Rosie, Governor, do you know what you're doing?
yeah.
He obviously
We
does.
had a quick chat to Lugs on the sideline and asked him if he was injured. He said no. Well, oh, okay. So this was a choice made by Grosman. In fact, I think Olympic has released the post-match interview with Grosman, and he said that he decided at the start of the week that this is what they were going to do, that they were
Right.
going to put Ben Wood in. So massive decision from Grozzy. Clearly the right one on the night.
Yeah. But how lucky are we to
Mm,
have two quality, and I mean quality, goalkeepers in our
yeah.
ranks? Amazing. One they could interchange and knowing that backline defense is still there.
Hmm.
Amazing. Not many
Yeah.
clubs have that great quality of two keepers.
Yeah, exactly. And I know Benny Wood probably doesn't get as many opportunities as he's owed. Um, but with that performance, I
Yeah.
think we'll definitely be seeing him in the senior team again pretty shortly,
Yeah.
especially at
And
least
it's
in the
tough.
cup. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
being a second
Tough. I
choice
mean,
keeper is tough.
Luke is a great keeper. There's no denying
Yes.
that. And he's hard to displace.
Yeah.
Really is hard to displace. But again, to have that quality sitting on your bench, mate, are
Yep.
we a blessed team?
Yeah, exactly. And knowing Grozzy in the back of his head, knowing he can just make that choice and have full
Yeah.
trust
Yeah.
in Ben as well. So and it goes to show that our backroom staff, we have a new I say new. We have a new goalkeeping coach at the moment who's worked with pretty much apparently every stage of the
Yep.
Socceroos setup. The Matildas setup was the goalkeeping coach at Brisbane Roar when Brisbane Roar won their 3 grand finals in 4 years. And that's now our goalkeeping coach. And you can see
Yep.
just how much extra both Ludes and Ben Wood have stepped up.
Yep. Yeah. It's a whole different level of quality, isn't it?
Yeah. So it's absolutely fantastic to be able to have that and have that quality not only in the goalkeeping position, but also on the bench ready to go. And we can't forget that last season's goalkeeping coach Chris Ostaranu is still around, and he's
Yes.
helped out as well,
Yes.
which is really really good to see because he's a lovely guy and an even better goalkeeping coach as well. So
Yeah. Yeah.
but yeah, we
Yeah.
also
So we
didn't
are blessed.
have. Sorry,
Oh, so we are blessed.
we are blessed. Um, but yeah, moving on from us absolutely gushing about Benwood. Our attacking as well, our interpassing game and the way we took our chances as well. I don't know if you've properly sat down and watched Riley Thompson King's goal again,
Yeah, it
but
was beautiful, wasn't it?
how he takes it down on the spin, nearly
Yep.
a 300-degree turn almost on the
Yep.
volley.
I mean, the control, the balance, he hit
Yeah,
it beautifully. He kept it down. It was high into the net, so
yep,
the keeper had struggled.
yep.
Just class, all class.
And it's very easy when you're on the spin on a volley to not catch it quite right and just put it straight over as if you're converting a goal
I've
in
seen the greats do it.
rugby. Yeah. Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. So
so
to have that moment of class, that real moment of
yeah,
finesse from Riley Thompson
yeah,
King, and that really helped us because again, it was such a tense match back and forth.
yeah,
Neither team taking their chances until that moment, and it just was
yeah. It's
allowed us to
quite
breathe
a
just
cautious
a
game,
little
wasn't
bit.
it?
Sorry?
Yeah, it was a very cautious game.
Yes, it was. Yeah, yeah,
Mm.
yeah. No team really wanted to go too out.
Yeah, it
You
was
know,
it was kind of like a couple of boxers just sort of giving sparring punches to each other and just see what
yeah,
happens
little
after it.
jabs and to see, if you're going to get tired or
Yeah,
not.
yeah,
But with no Felix on the bench, no Superman on the bench, we needed to turn to another hero, and Grozzy picked the right one in Will Avis.
mate. Will, what a guy!
Yeah.
Just a super nice guy, super player, just
And
beautiful. And I was really gushed for him when that went in.
yeah, me too. I love talking to Will. He's a really nice guy. He's a young kid.
Yeah,
He's got a very, very level head. I
yep,
was really, really happy that he put one away. And how he put it away is
yep,
such a beautiful goal because the ball sort of bobbles to him, but he
yeah,
takes his time. He knows he has enough time, and he just sort
yep,
of caresses it into that top corner.
yep.
And it is such a
It was a
fantastic
joy to
goal.
watch, absolute joy to watch,
It
and
really
even
was.
better when you watch it back again and again and again. It
Yeah,
just
yeah,
gets better to
yeah, exactly.
watch.
And he gave the goalkeeper he gave the Gold Coast United defender something new to think about. He came on and he just didn't stop running. That was
Yep.
obviously the job was to just continue to push and push and push.
Yeah, just
Um,
hammer, hammer, hammer.
yeah,
You're a good.
exactly right.
Yeah,
So and that really summed up our third goal, although it was an own goal. Lathan Dunn running through. If Will Avis doesn't make that run on the other side, that defender goes and closes Lathan Dunn down and totally changes the
correct.
angle. But because
Correct.
Will's on that side, that pass is open. So that defender has to sort of sit in between.
Yeah. So he's in two minds as to where he goes and what he does.
Yeah.
And I
Whether he
mean,
attacks the ball or he tries to block the pass.
yeah, and what he tried to do, I commend him for it because he tried to slide in and halt the progress of the ball.
Yeah. Try to just
It's
stop it
just,
up so the keeper can just go and pick it up.
yeah,
It's come
but there
off
was just too much,
wrong.
yeah,
Yeah.
too much pace on the ball.
Yeah.
And as it hit him, it's just ricocheted.
Yeah. But yeah, you've got to give it to Will Avis because without that run, that
Yeah,
defender immediately closes down Lathan Dunn. So it allows us to keep that pressure on and keep going.
absolutely. And it's positional play like that which makes us a little bit apart from some of the others.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely, definitely right. Coming up this week for the men, Olympic versus St. George Willawong. This is a match I know a few people at our Greek-based club is very excited for.
Us Greek boys.
Those Greek boys. Now this is our first game against the NPL New Boys. Um, they've obviously been trying very, very hard for this. They've made up their way up through the ladders, through the pyramid, and everything like that. And absolutely fantastic effort for them to get all the way to the NPL. Really,
Yeah,
really
hats off.
commendable. You know, it is
Hats
a
off.
very,
Definitely.
very difficult pyramid to get through. You know, when you look at it, you know, especially in the metro side, there's 6 leagues,
Yeah.
you know, 6 or 7 leagues
Uh,
to get through. So it is really, really difficult to get to it.
so you have to be something pretty special to make it that far.
Exactly. And this is actually their first NPL game at home this season. The two other games were played away.
Well, well. Welcome home,
So
boys.
yeah, so this is special for St. George
Yeah.
Willawong. This is it could not have worked out any better for them. Their first game in NPL at home soil is against the Greek boys, and I believe Serbia and Greece has a very, very good friendship across the years, culturally, sporting wise, religious wise, and everything like that. So this will be a fun one.
Yeah, and with the Greek boys a bit more buoyant over their win over Scotland,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They come from
they'll be
behind.
riding high.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, exactly
they'll
right.
be riding high. Yep.
Exactly right. And I've been talking to our good mate at Olympic, Christos Takakis. He's going to be trying to get a few extra supporters along. So if you are definitely thinking about coming to this one, please do. If it's the only game you come to, please do. Let's make it a really, really cool showing, especially again, their first NPL game on home soil. You know, it'd be really, really cool to get a really, really nice showing. This is the
Yeah,
closest you're going to get to an Eastern European crowd
yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
outside of
Yeah,
Eastern European.
yeah. No, it's going to be great. I mean, the St George fans are very, very passionate. Their players are very, very passionate, and I love that. I
Yeah.
love it when supporters are passionate. It just adds so much to a game, whether it be singing, flag waving, just cheering in general. It adds huge to the atmosphere.
Yeah. And it's such a hard place to go. Like I remember I didn't actually go to the match, but I watched the Gold Coast Knights match at St. George Willawong in the Kappa Pro Series, I think it was last season. And there were moments where Gold Coast Knights were really put on the back foot, and St. George scored a couple of goals in that. And,
Hmm.
you know, yes, it has the extra fire of Serbia versus Croatia, but for a team of that caliber to really push Gold Coast Knights in certain stages of the
Yeah,
game, you know, it's got to be a hard place to go. It's got to be
yeah.
a very, very intimidating place to go.
And let's face it, as you said, Gold Coast Knights have not been a slouch side for a couple of good seasons now. They've recruited well, they play well, they've got one of those grounds which intimidate you.
Mm,
Uh, yeah, good luck to them. I mean, to St George to do that, yeah, fantastic.
yeah. And they've actually been given some of the NPL teams a decent run. So they did lose against Gold Coast United at Gold Coast, but again, I think Gold Coast had to leave it late. If I remember watching it, and Gold Coast United scored, I think two late-ish goals.
Hmm.
So they pushed Gold Coast United pretty late, and they were 2-0 up against Wynnum Wolves just on the
Yeah,
weekend gone, and ended up drawing 2-2
crucial.
in the dying, like the last 10 minutes or so.
Yeah, Wolves had to really push to get that draw.
Yeah, exactly right. And so they're not slouches. That they, again, to use a phrase that I've already used earlier in this episode, they're not here to make up the numbers. They're here to
Oh,
compete. They're here to attempt to stay for another season.
yeah. And it will not be a walk in the park. I don't care what you think. It will not be a stroll. We'll have to be on our game day. We'll have to be up there nine out of 10, if we're higher,
Mhm.
and just concentrate on nullifying everything they throw at us.
Yeah, exactly right. Because again, they're not slouches. Like they've definitely given a few clubs now a run for their money and really,
Yeah,
really, pushed some of the
yeah,
clubs that
100%.
finished around us or even above us in Wynnum Wolves last season, who
Yeah.
have only, strengthened when you look at the signings that they've made. To push them that far is an incredible achievement. So as much as this is going to be two friendly ethnic based clubs, I think this one will be a very, very fiery and competitive one as well.
Oh, without a doubt. Without a doubt. And our lads have got a lot to prove too. I mean, they all seem to be getting written off year after year after year. We always seem to be that club where people go, oh, it's Olympic.
Yeah,
You know, and we don't deserve that mantle. We're a great club, got a great bunch of players, great governor.
yeah.
So, you know, we're going to go out there and we're going to take this by the scruff of the neck.
And we talked about this before, and I don't know if it's ever made it into an actual episode or if I've had to cut it for time before. But everyone from the littlest kids that turn up to the president of the club involved in men's, women's, seniors, kids, whatever side of the game, are all fantastic people. Olympic as an atmosphere are full of incredible people, are full of very friendly, family friendly people, and they just make you feel at home and welcome.
Yeah, yeah.
You know?
It's like as you just said, it is like a second family.
Yeah,
It really is. The minute you walk through the gate, you've got people saying hello, shaking hands, waving, messages of joy.
yeah,
It is just a great place to visit. I love it.
yeah. It really is, and like there's obviously a lot of tribalism in football, but yeah, it feels absolutely lovely to turn up. So this is going to be, to go back to the game. This is going to be a very, very interesting game, and I am really, really
Yeah,
looking forward to it. And I hope we get a
yeah,
few
me too.
of you boys alongside us as well. Because
Yeah.
a lot of the
The
time,
call's out to
whether
you, Christos.
don't let me
Come
down.
on, my mate. Come on, Christos.
Because yeah, like a lot of the time, although some of the other Olympic fans and family members of players and things like that will go sit somewhere else, in regards to behind the banner, it's often just you and I, especially on away
Yeah,
games. So it'll be
yeah,
really, really good to get a little bit of a showing together and get a little bit more of an army together, and hopefully we can
yeah,
keep a few of those supporters continuing
yeah,
forward. We definitely want more of a support around the banner as well.
yeah. You bet. You bet. Absolutely.
All right.
Let's do this.
All right. So that game is on Sunday, March 30 at St. George's Park in Willawong. It is a 5 o'clock kickoff because it's a Sunday match. So yeah, that'll be a really, really interesting one. Obviously, the under 23s will be playing just before that as well. So if you can, definitely get down there. It's going to be an absolute fiery match.
Yeah, gonna be a cracker
It's going to
in
be
more ways than
fantastic.
one.
And then moving on, the rest of the wicked midweek match between Narangba and Olympic in the Kappa Queensland Cup.
At Narangba.
Narangba, all the way back up to Narangba.
Yep.
When I was a
Course.
little tot, you used to love driving me to Narangba games at 6 o'clock.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Love it. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're lucky to have Ubers back then.
So Narangba entered this competition in round three. This is obviously round four, where the NPL teams and the upper teams sort of enter. Narangba beat Warwick Wolves 11-1 in their game. So it
Wow,
doesn't.
that's something to write home about.
Yeah, and say what you want about the level of differences. Narangba's in FQPL 4. So I'm not entirely sure what Warwick Wolves is. I didn't look it up, but it doesn't really matter. To beat any team 11-1,
Yeah. It's a good job, isn't it? It's
it's
pretty
a good
impressive.
job, but
Very
it's a little
impressive.
bit
Because
polarized.
generally,
Sorry.
like I said, generally, if Warwick Wolves were even a lower grade club, they're not going to let any club run over them.
Exactly.
They're going
Even
to
if
go
you
out
go
there
one
and
down,
fight
you sort
tooth
of
and
want to,
nail.
yeah,
So to win by that margin, that's extraordinary.
yeah. But in a little bit of a polarizing opinion, in the FQPL 4, they've played two matches and they've lost them both.
Yeah, figure that out.
Yeah, exactly. Some teams do really, really well in one competition, don't do well in others, but they've had a really rough start to their league campaign. Two losses from two games. They got Annalee coming up this weekend as well, just before
Ooh,
the midweek game against us. Annalee, as we know, again, doesn't really matter what level you're playing at. It's hard
yep.
to go to Annalee.
It is hard to go to Annalee. Yeah, there's one of those clubs and grounds that's just difficult.
Yeah, and I
Yeah,
believe they got a similar start to the season. I was looking on the ladder; they're like one or two places above them. So both teams will
yeah,
be fighting tooth and nail to try to get, you know,
yep. Get the
points on the
edge.
board there and try to get
Mm,
above each other. So with a very sudden fixture congestion after the cyclone and everything like that, I feel like we're going to be playing a bit of a rotated 11, but I feel like Narangba might be as well, simply because obviously their focus will probably be in the league here.
of course. And
You
what
know,
wouldn't it be?
Yeah, and you're an FQPL 4 team that just so happened to get drawn against an NPL team. Like
Yeah.
it's very unfortunate for them. They probably would have preferred a lower grade of opposition so they could,
Mm.
try to push a little again. That being said, I don't think Narangba is going to lay down and take this one either.
Oh
Why
God,
would
no,
you go for
no.
it?
Yeah, they want a scalp.
Yeah,
If they
exactly.
get a scalp like Olympic on their mantelpiece, they're
Yeah,
going to be proud of that.
yeah. And if we play a rotated 11 and we're not ready, they're going to hit us hard, and we're going to get a bit of a wake up call.
Yeah, yeah. I think going back to that kind of comment, our boys have really changed a lot from last season
Mm,
to this season. Even though this season's only short at this point of the calendar year, the attitude of the lads is better.
hmm
The playing style is better. Their aggressiveness is better. And again, their willingness to lay down and fight for this club is greater.
Yeah.
And I love that in them. They've got a bunch which is, I think, will take us far.
And in the post-match interview that our social media admin did with Riley Thompson King, he made the comment as well about, after the week or the 2 weeks off, having to suddenly turn that around and come at Gold Coast United, it was good to
Yeah,
come away with a 3-0 win. And Riley
it was
mentioned that,
brilliant.
Grozzy's got them a lot more disciplined this time round.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
think that's a lot to it. We did mention, with the reset button of the form, there also comes the returning from niggly injuries,
Yep.
hoping that, the players go out and still keep up their fitness and things like that. So obviously what they did in that time when they could do it, they did it very, very well. And we did mention as
Excellent.
well that, we were very lucky not to get away with no major flooding. So there was a possibility that we might have gotten back out on the pitches a little bit quicker and
Correct.
things like that.
Absolutely.
So,
Yeah.
so yeah, I can imagine a fairly similar 11 from the Gold Coast United game against St. George. And I can
Hmm.
imagine a fairly rotated game or a fairly rotated 11 against Narangba. You'll probably see Benny
Yeah.
Wood in for that one,
Have to
but
agree.
hopefully
Yeah.
hopefully you'll see maybe Hero come back on for a couple of minutes and things like that if he is
Well, we
ready
spoke to
for
Hero on last Saturday night or last Sunday,
it. Mm.
and he mentioned 1 week. So if he sits out the league game
hmm
and gives himself an extra week and a couple of days, we may, as you said, we may see him a late second half appearance.
Yeah, even if
for
it's
Hiroshi
just 10
to
minutes to
back in
get.
there and get the feel of the ball and the feel of
Yeah.
play again. But Superman, another couple of weeks.
Yeah, unfortunately, Superman Felix, yeah, another couple of weeks has a knee issue, I believe,
The issue, yeah.
which is very unfortunate because we particularly have loved his energy coming on to the
Oh,
pitch when he has, and
yeah.
he already made two massive contributions against Sunshine Coast Wanderers.
Yeah. Oh,
Um,
fantastic, wasn't it?
yeah, exactly, which is where
I'm
we've
just
given him
picturing,
this nickname of
I'm just
Superman.
picturing the goal in my head again.
Oh, I know, incredible. Absolutely incredible. So, yeah, maybe a few more weeks for him. But hopefully, if Hero is ready, of course, we might see him for the last couple of minutes of the
Yeah,
Narangba game.
yeah, I reckon the Narangba game.
Yeah. But
Best to be
hopefully,
safe than sorry. Don't put him up to too much of a pressure situation early.
yeah,
Ease him in. And Grossi's got brilliant man management skills.
yeah,
He knows what he's doing.
Grossi's all over that. He's a very, very smart person, and he's got a lot of smart people around him as well in the backroom staff.
Yeah.
A lot of them we've come to know very, very well. All lovely
Yeah.
people. So
In Grossi, we trust.
in Grozzy, we trust. But yeah, so that Narangba game is, like I said, it's on a Wednesday night. It's the 2nd of April at 7:30 at the Harris Avenue Sports Complex up in Narangba. So yeah, a little bit difficult to get to, especially considering it's a Wednesday night, it's after work and
Yeah.
things like that.
It's a school night.
It's a school night, and everything
Yeah,
like
as I
that.
say.
If you're tossing it up, go to the women's. Women's are at home, a little bit easier to get to. It's what you know and
Yep.
things like that.
And they would love to see you there.
But we will still love to see you there. As always, if you do see our banner, if you do see our flags, come and say hello, come and support with us. It'll be absolutely fantastic. It'll be our pleasure to have you along for the ride. Yeah. You got anything else to add?
Well, I think we've summed it all up for tonight. I think it's just going to be a great weekend of football.
It's going to be absolutely fantastic. It's our first couple of midweek games apart from the Kappa Pro series.
Yep.
And this is our first episode of our new format being posted on Spotify and YouTube, which is partially the reason for the very long episode.
We
The
tend
other
to talk
part,
a lot.
yeah. The other part is we seem to talk a lot.
We do.
We have 6 games to go through this time, but also we're crazy about this club, and this is where we can put our crazy. So,
Yeah. Yes. Our craziness lives on.
indeed. So thank you very much for tuning in, everyone. We'll hopefully see you at the games on Saturday and Sunday or Wednesday. If not, we'll catch you next week on the podcast.
Enjoy your week. Be safe.
Be safe, everyone. Thank you.